Right here, down. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Come on, man. Let's do this. Family, I'll do 1, 2, 3.
You see, we dream chase, because that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, Eagles Nation and TMTP family? Welcome back to another episode here on the Main Thing Podcast Presents. It's your boy, Mr. Owens. And after further review, the call stands. I'm still official with no stripes.
Man, what's going on, Eagles family? This is your man, Big Huss, the one you trust. Hey, you know we talking all the Philadelphia Eagles latest. You feel me? So, I don't know what we just watched on Monday night at Lambeau Field.
Gosh.
This was not 2025 era football, and this looked more like old school, black and white, leather helmets, you know what I'm saying? Muddy grass, no pads on type John. 1950s type football, honestly. The scoreboard barely moved all game, but the Eagles survived 10-7, came out victorious. That's really all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't had this slowing score of an output since 2007. You're talking about close to 20 years when we haven't 10 points. We only put up 10 points.
Bro, we had McNabb at quarterback, bro.
Come on, bro. That's how long it's been. So that lets you know what kind of ball game this was, right? Packers, Eagles, they gave us our first scoreless half since 2022. So, hey, we making history in different ways, Logan. But look, neither team reached the red zone until like midway through the third. Both teams were dragging weights. It was not pretty. This was definitely more of a gritty, physical, defensive output. You got low-key say for both teams. But Eagles hold on. We ended up moving on to 7-2. Number 1 seed in the NFC, you know, so we still sitting top the ranks looking down on the peasants, you feel me? And tonight, we're going to break down everything. We talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, stats, coaching decisions that raise some eyebrows, the penalties, which consists, play design, just the domination of football, and it truly was the domination of football. Performance of Jaelan Phillips. We're going to talk about it all. Look, we're going to talk about it all. But before we get into that, Mr. Owens wants to talk to you real quick.
Y'all already know, man. Look, we got to talk to our supporters. Look, to our loyal supporters, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from you all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Look, let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section, share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, you ain't gonna want to forget to do this. Make sure to turn on them noties and keep your ears and eyes peeled to the streets like your local neighborhood watch. Wow. So you don't miss when me and Big Huss drop this pressure on y'all.
You heard him. Go do that. And now you already know, hey, let's jump into the meat and potatoes, the nitty gritty. You know what I mean? Let's get right to it. So, look, we thought that we were going to go out here and dominate, but this turned into a survival game. It wasn't as much of a statement game, which we thought we would do, especially coming out of the bye. Look, we survived. Old school, like I said, gritty type football. First half scoreless. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Like, it's just crazy for real, especially talking about our Eagles. Both teams had 0 points. Both teams just look stuck, especially offensively. But even in all that mess, we showed flashes. What could be. We made the plays when we needed to make them. And honestly, the game ball goes to the defense.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they put the team on their shoulders. Like, all right, offense, it's another one of them days. We got you. Jaelan Phillips, the new addition, he stepped in. I got you. right? The Packers had 83 yards the entire first half. 0-0. 0 for 5 on third down. 3 yards of play. We were really holding them in check. Jordan Love under pressure, and he was under pressure a lot in this game. 0 for 6 passing, had a couple scrambles, sack, fumble, costly fumble, right? Look, it was the defense's day. They locked in. They walked through the game top to bottom, like we say, the main thing way, and just made it happen.
They did make it happen because, like, at the end of the day, they was like Clark Kent changing into Superman. They went in a booth.
Man, quick.
straight out the pan into the fire for real. You see what I'm saying? And to add on to what you've already set the tone with, man, the defense did their thing. They set that tone. They set that thermostat, that temperature in the room. Look, this is the game that the defense announced itself early. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, a player who was the spark plug on his team, somebody who had to battle back from a major injury, came back and set the tone, was Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
Look, he had 6 solo tackles in the first half, all right? A perfectly timed A-gap blitz that created that fumble on Jordan Love.
Let's give it a start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
Had Jordan Love out there doing all this, trying to push the ball.
Hey, hot potato.
You know, you take it. You see what I'm saying? Trying to push the ball over to Josh Jacobs. That wasn't going to work with Nakobe Dean holding on to him. Look, he finished the game with 7 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 forced fumble. He looked like last year's Nakobe Dean, which was fast, violent, and decisive whenever he was coming downhill to make a play. Dean's energy and timing changed the entire rhythm of our defense. He made Jordan Love uncomfortable from snap 1. Also, Nolan Smith, man, boy, we missed him. He made a return to that stat sheet late in the half. Nolan Smith bent the edge and sacked Jordan Love at the Eagles' 27-yard line. It was because Nakobe Dean came down, opened that front door for him. Look, how do you do? Welcome. You see what I'm saying? That's complimentary football at its finest. That's just what they did at UGA. Go Dogs. But also Moro Jomo, he recognized, he was over here talking about, hey, inside zone, inside zone that way.
Was crazy.
Inside zone this way. Inside zone this way. It's Jacobs, flag fly.
That way.
Hey, that's film study, and that is great coaching. Great coaching to see that and call that out. Hey, especially at that moment in the game, clutch moment in the game. Come on, man. That's championship football.
Yes, at its finest. That was on Green Bay's 4th and 1 play before the snap even happened. Even Josh Jacobs admitted in the post game, he was like, look, that kind of changed how I wanted to run the football and where I wanted to go with the football, because when somebody on the defensive side is calling your play out, it kind of makes you reevaluate what you want to do with the football. You see what I'm saying? But again, to your point, because that is film study at its finest. That's him getting in, knowing the playbook, understanding as well what the offensive strengths were, what Green Bay's strengths were, and sniffing that out. Now, Quinyon Mitchell locked up and won't let me out. All right, the island. He got a whole island over there. All right, he allowed just 45.5% completions all year. That's strappy on. You see him? That's less than 50%. So basically, every 2 balls that come his way, they're not really catching nothing over there. He's played with elite leverage, elite patience, and elite confidence. He covered in breakers with no help. That's just mano y mano. I'm lining up on your best guy that you got to offer, and I'm going to shut him down. He is officially a top 5 cornerback, and he's only in his 2nd year. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. And look, it felt good to have Jalen Carter back. That week-long bye week that we had, he seemed refreshed and rejuvenated. It seemed as almost if he was back to his 2024 form. He was explosive. He was violent with his hands against the Green Bay's offensive lineman. He diagnosed double teams, and he perfectly timed pass breakups on 2nd and 13. That's one thing that I do notice about Jalen Breadman Carter. When he can't get to the quarterback and be disruptive by sacks, what he does is get into the passing lane, get his hands up, and knock those balls down. Carter looked like he had fresh juice after that bye. This was the closest that Jalen Carter has been to his dominant rookie form, and we expect to see more of that throughout the second half of this 2025 NFL season.
Look, absolutely. JC, if he plays his cards right, will be wearing a gold jacket at the end of his career. That's just being
facts.
honest. Yeah, that's facts. That's no bias. He is just that type of talent. He continues to impress every time he's on the field. That's why we got to keep him out there. We got to keep him healthy. Key element to this Vic Fangio defense. Now, we talked about a lot of great, right? Let's talk about a little ugly, and that's that offense. This Philadelphia Eagles offense at times is like, what are we doing?
Pulling tooth and nail, man.
I'm telling you, it's just atrocious. At one point, the drive chart was fumble, punt, down. What are we doing? All these weapons. I'm looking out there. We got a healthy AJ. We got a Smitty, a Dallas, Saquon back here. Line, a couple ups and downs, but pretty much intact. What the hell? Right? 125 yards in the first half, 4 yards per play. We only crossed the 50-yard line once, and that drive ended in a fumble. It was, I'm not gonna lie, the best drive of the night. If we could have punched it in, I'd probably say, but we didn't. We gotta capitalize. You can't milk the clock, drive the field, fumble, turn it over. What are we doing? Right? Speaking of the fumble, Jalen Hurts, like I said, it was a mixed bag, right? Good processing early, like I said, especially on that opening drive. I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of these type nights. Okay, I said, Mr. Owens might be right. We might run it up and down on these boys, right? Beautiful third down read versus Tampa 2, but the accuracy was inconsistent. I could say overall this year, through all the naysaying, and they can say whatever they want, he's been a very accurate quarterback this year.
Yes.
Very decisive in his reads, very much in command and control of the offense. Not so much Monday night, right? Missed Calcaterra on a seam route where, honestly, if he catches it, he might have scored. I'm gonna be completely honest. Would have flipped momentum. Forced to scramble when he didn't need to. We already spoke about the fumble. Great quarterback, right? He just didn't really have his best day when you would expect him, especially under the lights, where we know QB1, he's going to rise to the occasion 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10. This was just that off night, right? Saquon Barkley, for all his ups and downs this year, had a pretty solid night, all purpose. 15-yard run where he looked explosive. You like, oh, he might house this, John.
We dream chase, because that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
But then the catch, your boy Valentine, that cornerback for the Packers, bro. When we come and we play y'all, just sit down, bro. You want to highlight reel every time we play y'all. Last year, it was Dallas stiff arming you for the touchdown.
4 times.
Get off me. Right? This time, it's Saquon putting you in the spin cycle, had you looking stupid for it. Like, just sit down, bro. Don't run your mouth no more. Because they said you was chopping it up early in the game, really talking crazy. Highlight reel.
Hey, Huss. Did he need the heavy dry cycle, bro?
Hey, what? Ring him out. It's crazy. It's crazy. But it was a 41-yard catch and run by Saquon where you got a 2024 feeling of, yeah, this is what we're used to seeing from Saquon Barkley, right? He's balling. He is not the problem. The problems would have to say are their play calling. It's a Petula thing right now. I got to be honest. The third and long runs with Will Shipley. I understand we're in the third and long situation. You want to somewhat be safe. You don't want to put your team in a bad predicament, but we have to keep pedal to the floor. The gas needs to be on always. We're not cruising. We're flooring it. Drive this expensive car that you have, right? There was no play action from the jumbo sets, 0 of 11 snaps. Empty formation was working. Like I said, especially you saw that opening drive. We went empty quite a bit, but then it disappeared. You didn't see it for the rest of the game.
Houdini.
What are we doing once again? Why would you get away from something that is effectively working? They didn't stop us. We stopped ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Get back to it. Force them to defend it, right? The defenders weren't biting on play action. There might be a tail, but honestly, you need to run the ball a little bit more consistently to build up the play action. It's almost like at times the play action is just something you're sliding in there just to say you're doing it, not really committing to the run. This is a run-first football team. I don't care how you slice and dice it. I don't care who you bring in. Philadelphia will always be a run-first team, especially with what we have going on now. Lean into that. The offense is very talented, but extremely predictable. Petula has to get in his bag. I feel, honestly, even though it might be out of character for him, when he is aggressive, it works. It's just, it feels, I think it feels a little unnatural for him. But he has to get into that because this is what you have to work with. These aggressive, expensive toys, let them go play.
Yes. And to add on to your point, because like you said, we have to be aggressive, bro. We have the tools. We have all the tools in the tool shed that we need. We ain't got to run the whole Lowe's. We ain't got to run the Home Depot to get no tools. We already got them. You see what I'm saying? And it's like the one thing that I see from Kevin Petullo is he concedes a lot. He just gives up early. If it doesn't help that sometimes we get the penalties and things like that, and we get off schedule and play behind the sticks. And I understand that. But also, when you have Arthur Juan K outside, you have Smitty out there, we don't got to go over the people that we have on this offense. We should be able to push the ball down the field and make plays. I'm sitting here on Sundays, Thursdays, Mondays when we're not playing it. I'm watching other teams play, and they have lesser receivers than we do, lesser quarterbacks than we do, the whole offense, and they're moving the football, so it's frustrating. We have to stay aggressive. If you weren't ready for this moment, bro, I don't think that you should have took it. But at this time, I really feel like something that might help us because is maybe getting another offensive creative mind in there. Maybe a Dougie P, a Brian Dable, who work with QB1 at Bama, who worked with Josh Allen as an offensive coordinator in Buffalo. Get a creative offensive mind in there, because I'll be damned if our offense, and not even our offense, Kevin Petullo, you're the common denominator, if he's the reason that we don't win the Super Bowl. Because we had to, you think about it. In 2022, we had Steichen, went to the bowl. 2023, didn't have the best season, but our offense wasn't that bad with Brian Johnson, still top 10 with Brian Johnson. Then 2024, we started out a little slow because we were getting used to Kellen Moore's offense. What happened after the bye week? Took off. It should be it shouldn't be this hard for us to create explosive plays, especially with the type of caliber of players we have.
It is literally like he's coaching not to lose instead of coaching to win.
To win.
With the people that you just named, even with the up and down season of the Brian Johnson, we didn't get really super conservative. I mean, there were times, but aggressive is the nature. Especially as you are with the dogs that we have, why would we play it safe? Let these grown men go make plays. You're paying these folks $100 million plus. Go earn your bag. Let them go do that. But he might not be the answer. I'm not sure. And like you said, and I think you bring up a great point when you say, bring somebody in, man. You know what I mean? Like a true offensive mind, I would, and a lot of folks might not be honest, but I would be ecstatic if we brought in a Dable. Because I know that the offense is going to have some creativity. It's going to flow. And as you mentioned, the familiarity, the Bama connection with Jalen Hurts and everything. This isn't two people who, I got to kind of learn what he likes. Yeah, Jalen has grown in a bit, but you know this player. I think that would be a very, very, very prosperous move for the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then to add on a little bit to what you said on the 3rd and longs with Will Shipley. Bro, no slight to Will Shipley. We love Will Shipley. But, bro, it's 3rd and 12, 3rd and long. Throw the football, bro. To your point, we're paying darn near, if not $100 million two dogs. We have 2 top 10 receivers on our roster, but yet it's Kevin Patullo looking at his play sheet. Let's just run a draw. What are we doing, bro? Throw the football. Stop playing around, man. Because for real, if you, again, you're the common denominator. If this keeps happening, bro, you will be out of a job. They will either demote you or, bro, you're going to get fired. We don't play around in Philadelphia. That it is as simple as that. And one thing before I go into the next topic, Big Hus, on Saquon, say 2K, say them 2 plays right there, excellent. The one that got me was he was going to take that to the house. If Michael Parsons, I don't know how the refs missed a clear trip like they in WWE.
I saw it in real life motion I'm like, he just tripped him.
But
that's a flag. How did you miss that? Hey, full leg extension. Ugh. He reaching.
That's the only play he made all game, and it was an illegal play. Say 2K would have hit his head on a goalpost had he got through there. You see what I'm saying? But Kevin Patullo, you have to get better, bro. It should not be these many issues with us being 7-2, and it should not be this hard to get our offense started, especially with the talent that we have amassed on that side of the ball. And shout out to Howie for orchestrating and constructing this roster to where it is right now. And shout out to Jeffrey Lurie for allowing Howie to construct the roster as it is now. But look, we got to flip it over, switch gears to the second half. Aha, there we go. Finally, some points. Can breathe a sigh of relief, all right? Dallas Goedert, he was the drive starter, all right? The third play of the half, he had a 22-yard catch, taking Philly into scoring range.
We dream chase, because that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized
that led to the first points of the game, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Then we had Jake Elliott. He hit a 39-yard field goal with 8 minutes and 58 seconds left in the third quarter. So the Eagles were up 3-0 against the Green Bay Packers. But look, we got to spotlight and highlight the play of the night again. That was Say 2K's 41-yard gain. Look, one thing that I did love on that play is we know with Arthur Wanke and the situation at hand that's going on, he's frustrated. As a former football player, Big Hus as a former football player, you want to contribute any way possible for your team and to win. But people don't, it goes unnoticed. Arthur Wanke had one of the biggest blocks that you could have had at a wide receiver. He kind of sprung Say 2K to that 41-yard run. And that's one thing that I do love about our receivers. They are not selfish. If they're not getting the ball and the run game's working, what they do, they put their head down, bring the lunch pail, and they get the blocking. And that's one thing that I can commend them on. But there came the shot that broke the game open. Devonta Slim Reaper Smith, he had a 36-yard tag down.
You see, we dream chase, because that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable.
And you're mad. You see what I'm saying? Climb the ladder over Evan Williams. Evan Williams over there looking, trying to get the ball. Nah, bro. It was a perfect deep post cross concept. One of the plays that Kevin Patullo got right. It had great pocket protection from the O-line, giving QB1 ample time to make that read and that throw. It was a subtle pump fake from QB1 to freeze that safety, but connected with Smitty on that dime. And then Devonta Slim Reaper Smith, again, when you need him to come up clutch, don't you worry about it. It was a 3rd and 12 with about 4 minutes and 52 seconds left. He ran a perfect route. QB1 delivered it on time, and it was a gain and completion of 16 yards that kept the clock moving.
Realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
So now look, this is what happens when the offense stops being conservative. When you're aggressive, when you push the football downfield, good things come to those. All right, plain and simple, bro.
Hey, It's that easy. It's not rocket science.
It can all be so simple.
It can all be so simple, right? Now look, the finish, once again, we got to talk about it, right? It's a little ugly, a little bit of nail biting was going on. Sirianni had some questionable decisions late, right? Where I think he has very vastly improved during his 2-minute drill offense and his decision making is late. This was another game where, for him, it wasn't his best game, especially late, right? As far as decisions go. Throwing twice under 3 minutes at the Packers 43 with the lead, needing to burn clock. Really, you should be running the ball or making safe throws if you're going to throw them. We get 2 incompletions. Stop the clock. We give Green Bay life. Green Bay fans are looking like, hey, we might be able to make this a game again.
Don't
right?
mind if we do.
Don't mind if we do. Thank you. Right? Why would you do this? When it's so obvious the road set for you on what you need to do to escape this very, very close, gritty game, why would you risk it? I don't feel like this is a chance or a time where we need to be taking chances, right? Let's get out of here. This game was too close for comfort.
Yes.
Honestly. Then you have a 4th and 6 at the Packers 36. Under 30 seconds left. Instead of punting the ball, forcing Green Bay to drive the length of the field, right? Especially how the defense was playing this to that night. Monday night, the defense was on one, right? Everybody locked in. Couldn't have asked for a better game. Why wouldn't you put it on the shoulders? They've been proving it all game that, hey, we're here. We got you. Instead, Sirianni goes for it. Deep ball to AJ, incompletion again, giving the Packers ball in plus territory. Now, look, we've seen a lot of these moments where we've taken the big shot and converted. I'm not so much mad at the play call. It was just the vibe of the game, how the night was going. We don't need to be taking chances. Like, once again, too close for comfort. You got to read the room a little bit better. This was not a risk it night. This was, as we said earlier, a survival night. We just need to survive, get home, get to 7-2, which we did. It all worked in our favor, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta fill it out a little bit more. I feel like I said, the feeling, reading the room that night, especially late, it wasn't there, man. It wasn't there.
Yeah, and Huss, real quick on that before you continue. He was risking it for the biscuit for real, and the thing is, it's like, bro, Arthur Juan K didn't have a reception like since the second quarter, bro. Like the first or second quarter. Why would you want to go ball? So you didn't use him all 50 minutes or whatever the game, 55 minutes. But then all of a sudden, as you mentioned, on 4th and 6, when you had to have it, you want to throw a deep ball, bro. Y'all got to understand, especially if you never played football. When it's cold outside, bro, your bones, all that starts to tighten up. You see what I'm saying? It's room for injury. It's so much going on. You can't ask a person to run a go ball who has not been getting the ball all night. They always say the receiver's night doesn't start until they catch their first pass. Arthur Juan K had his first and second catches in the first and second quarter. Why are we waiting until basically under a minute to try that? And to add on to your point, the defense was dominating all game. I was shocked when we went for it. I'm all about going for it because I trust the people on our offense. But then also, it's about being smart and knowing the situation, as you mentioned. Punt the football, make them drive the field, and let our defense come and save the day.
And then on top of that, once again, how many times have we seen the late game bomb to AJ? Can we spice this up a little bit? How about we go a late game bomb to Devonta Smith? You know what I'm saying? Or Dallas Goedert. You know what I'm saying? Let's get creative. At this point, we've shown that that's what we like to do. Teams are looking for it. Because even when you see the pass, it wasn't just the corner over there, bro. The safety made it over there too. They're looking for it. We have to get creative. But on the same token, as we said, read the room, catch the vibes. It wasn't that type of night. The defense has to step in and save the day again. Packers need a few yards now. They're already damn near in field goal range. Brandon McManus attempts a 64-yarder, which is very much capable in this day and age. I believe some kid the other day just hit like a 68, 69-yard.
Ball from the Raiders.
Man, booted the joint. What's his name? Little or something like that? I mean, bombed that joint. I was like, oh, Lord, it's different. So 64 yards isn't so taboo out the ordinary anymore. It's very much a regular occurrence. Luckily, he misses. We hold on. But the key moments, they came a little earlier, but this section was about the coaching, the decision-making. It was clearly an off night for everybody, not just the players. But we found a way, as champions do, but you got to look yourself in the mirror. How could I have been better? And this was definitely one of those moments where Sirianni should be looking himself in the mirror.
That's for sure, bro. And then, man, look, one of the pleasant surprise.
Hey,
man. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Jaelan. Jaelan to the Phillips.
Right.
You feel me? Hello, Philly. How's you doing? You see what I'm saying, man? This man right here was a game changer. And it's mind-blowing the fact that we received him for a 3rd round pick, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Now, his stat line that night, if you must have been under a rock if you ain't see what Jaelan Phillips was doing in his first game in Midnight Green. He had 6 tackles, 4 solo, a tackle for a loss, 2 quarterback hits, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, 7 pressures on 36 rushes, which equates to a 19.4%. Played 53 snaps, used the edge, inside a spy and in coverage, and then on top of that, just to add the cherry on top, blew up that 4th and 1 forced that Josh Jacobs fumble and recovered the fumble, bro. What more do you want from him? Oh my gosh, this man was out here a one-man wrecking crew. The whole defense played phenomenally, but that game ball was definitely deserved by Jaelan Phillips. He made his presence known. He just said he felt refreshed, rejuvenated. The chemistry, the players in that locker room made him feel comfortable, and also it's just the culture that we have instilled here in Philadelphia, which makes primetime players want to come and play here in Philadelphia. And then something else that I found dope was he said that he didn't even know, but his pops and his uncle had flew into Chicago and then driven from Chicago to Green Bay. Yep. And he said that after the game, he looked up in the stands and then saw his pops and his uncle. So that is something that's super dope, because if you play ball, you know, when your family, friends, and stuff is in attendance, you gotta show up and show out. But he didn't even know they was there and still did all of this, man. Now, look, he looked like the best player on the field, plain and simple. And that is with Jalen Brayman Carter on the field. That is with Zach Bond on the field, Billboard Bond. That is with Quinton Bay Cooper. We got some dogs on that side, but all around, he did look like the best player on the field. Fangio, man, that boy big. He the truth. He used him like a chess piece, all right? And Phillips looked like he been here all year. The forced fumble with 1:26 left should have sealed the game, but of course, as Big Huss mentioned, Sirianni, Super Bowl winning head coach Nick Sirianni, almost handed that game back, and I was going to be furious.
And that's an understatement. Furious is an understatement. Might have burnt the city down. Like, there's no way.
It's no more link.
Yeah, right. It's over. But no, honestly, Jaelan Phillips, better than advertised. Ooh. I must say. I didn't watch a lot of Miami football outside of when we played, what was that, 2 years ago? I think it was 2023.
Yes.
Right? This boy's, he's going to be a problem. How he's going to have some decisions to make come off season about whether we let this man test free agency or we try to keep him in building. He's only 26, so still a young player, still in his prime. But let's talk about some key stats during this game, right?
What school did he go to, Big Huss?
Man, y'all stop playing with me, man. Y'all know how they do them. Come on, bro. Breed them different down that way. Okay. Bringing it back, putting on. He looked like he from Miami, too.
For real.
Right? So, 3rd down. Not a good day when it comes to 3rd down. for this game. Honestly, for either team. Eagles, 4 for 14. Terrible. That's less than 30%. Packers, 2 for 10, 20%. Now, Eagles defense, Packers defense, you looking at this, you like, we'll take that, right? Fourth down, and typically we dominated in fourth down. We were 0 for 2. 0 for 2 during this game, right? Honestly, we got to avoid getting to that situation. But when we do get to those fourth and shorts and whatever, I'm used to them converting them. It just really didn't happen in this game. The Packers, 0 for 1. Thank to you, baby. Thank to you. That was that Phillips forced fumble. And then penalties. Eagles, 7 penalties, 54 yards. Packers, 5 penalties, 35 yards. Eagles, we got to clean the penalties up. At this point, I'm starting to believe that this is part of the identity of this team because we're going on to what, week 11 now?
Yes.
And this keeps rearing its ugly head. We have yet to play a football game, start to finish, no penalties, just clean game. We have to do better because a lot of these times we're gearing up to go for it, whether it be on a fourth and short or third and short, false start, whatever it is, holding, offsides. You can't win when you're constantly behind the sticks. You can't do it offensively. Delay a game. QB1. Come on. It starts at the front with the leader. If your quarterback's playing sloppy, more than likely the rest of your team's going to play sloppy. We got to tighten up. We have everything. We speak on this week to week. Everything we need to win a Super Bowl. Hoist that Lombardi. Penalties can keep us from doing it, as if the league isn't already working against us.
Mm-hmm.
Got to help yourself out here.
And
go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, my bad, Hus. And real quick, bro, the difference was, yeah, we had more penalties and yards. Our penalties were back-breaking penalties. Penalties that it's like, bro, we can really take control of this game, put the momentum in our favor. Why, as you mentioned, why is it 4th and 2, but then we get a holding penalty and now it's 4th and 12? Bro, you definitely ain't going for it now. We gotta be smart and disciplined, bro. My bad.
No, but you're spot on. It is the costliness of these penalties. In some regards, we're an undisciplined football team, right? We have yet, once again, to execute in all 3 phases. It's always 2 or 3. Pick the day, you know what I mean? They'll rotate, but it's never 3 or 3, right? It's always 2 or 3. Let's play a complete game. We can't be working against ourselves and fighting 2 opponents. Like you said, you go from a 4th and 2 or a 3rd and 2 to a 4th and 12.
Like, what are we doing?
4th and 12. Like you said, you're not going for it. Punt team. Brayton, you're up.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. He's been consistent since we got him. But look, I let the first one slide coming off the foot. I say, you know what? It's cold outside. Maybe his foot, he couldn't feel it.
A little heavy.
Look now, when I saw that other shank, you didn't help the defense out. You put the Packers in great field position. Bro, they were starting from like the 45 and the 50-yard line, bro.
Facts.
We have to nip that in the bud and tighten that up. We have all the ingredients. We have all the pots and pans, the stove, everything that you need to make a fine cuisine. We just got to put it all together as a collective, man.
Absolutely.
Have to.
Absolutely. Look, but a win's a win, right?
Yeah.
But as they say, the tape does not lie. If you play football in these sports, the tape don't lie, right? This was survival, not dominance. We had to get back to dominance. We won that Super Bowl last year, especially when we hit them playoffs. It was dominance from the rip, right? So it wasn't a statement, but survival counts. You're going to have tight games, right? This builds character. This is a little bit of adversity for us. We escaped Lambeau Field, right? 10-7 victory atop the NFC. Things are still looking very bright. The defense is elite. But the offense, in some words, you could say it's lost. Still searching for itself, right? Coaching, a little too risky. You have to remember when to be risky but safe. You have to find that balance, right? We didn't have that balance. But you know what? Sometimes championship teams, man, look, they win ugly. It's not always going to be pretty. You actually want some games like this. So when you get to the playoffs and you face those tough opponents, you know what it means and what it takes to pull out that victory, right? This team has plenty of talent. It can be done. It just has to work together. A clean game. Turn itself into a well-oiled machine. We kind of got some hiccups in the way, right? We're limping right now. But when the offense finds its identity to match what's been going on, especially with the defense now, seems like they're really trying to come into their own. This was definitely, look, it might not have been a statement game for the offense, but it was a statement game for that damn defense now. All right, let's not get it twisted. But when we get it together, this team will be fine. We still have some time before the playoffs actually hit, but let's get on the right sooner than later.
And because this is kind of the same thing that happened to the defense last year as well. After the bye week, they turned it up. They were a whole new group, came out and did what they did, dominated, bro. I'm super proud of what we see out of this defense, especially with it being a young defense as it is, bro. Like, they're trying to put this team on their back. We need the offense to find this rhythm, and once that happens, bro, the whole league is in trouble, bro.
For sure.
It's scary that we have not played a complete game, yet we're 7-2 and still in first place in the NFC. That is great. It's because the talent that we have. It is simply the talent. All the penalties, everything that we have talked about in this video, we being me and Big Huss, we can overcome that because we have the talent to overcome it. But it does not always work that way in the game of football. You can have all the talent that you want, but if you're undisciplined, do uncharacteristic things, you can take L's, plain and simple. And look, man, we learn, we grow, and we stay together. It's just the main thing. We appreciate y'all letting us vent to y'all. But look, man, to our loyal supporters, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section, share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, you ain't gonna want to forget to do this. We drop a pressure all day. Make sure to turn on that notification bell, also known as that Liberty Bell looking thingy, so you don't miss when Swoop comes out with the Eagles news and updates.
You don't want to miss them. More videos definitely on the way, right? But if you don't know, I go by Big Huss.
And I go by Mr. Owns.
This is the Main Thing Podcast, where we keep the main thing the main thing.
Hey.
Y'all already know. Support the channel. Support your birds. This flag was fly till we die. Till next time. Stay blessed.
It was I was gonna make a lot of money doing what I wanted to do. I went after it, and it was a struggle to achieve it. But you know what? I caught that bitch. Dream chasing.